Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, Happy Bookmas. This is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for December 3rd through 9th. This week I read 2 books, I watched 1 show, and I listened to 1 book. This episode is a little bit brief because at time of upload I will be on a boat back from Seattle, having just attended PodCon, so yes, I am pre-filming this on Friday before leaving for PodCon. I'm pretty excited. If things go my way, I'll have at least 1 awesome bookish video from the con for you sometime next week. This week. I'd remind you here that I'm running the Let's Talk About Books meetup, but by the time you see this, that will have been in the past. I hope it was a success. First this week I finished Otherbound by Corinne Davis. I know this author from On the Edge of Gone, and when I realized that my library had another book of hers, I picked it up immediately. I went into it not knowing anything about the plot, which is kind of my favorite approach. This book was so damn inventive. We have a split narration. Nolan is a disabled teenager with a prosthetic leg, and every time he closes his eyes, he sees through the eyes of our second point of view character, Amara, a tongueless servant in a completely different and magical world. Modern medicine explains Nolan's experiences as mini-seizures, essentially that he has one nearly every time he blinks, for which he's been on several different medications. He doesn't tell the doctors that he knows the other world is real and that he is just a passenger in it. Amara doesn't know that Nolan is there. Her role is to protect a princess with a curse, and since servants are not permitted to speak out loud, her tongue was cut out many years ago. She communicates with signs. She's romantically involved with the other servant on the run, and although she sometimes hates the princess because of the power imbalance, she's also attracted to her. In a word, remarkable. I highly suggest this book if you want disability rep, bi rep, or just a great fantasy world. Second this week I finished Sovereign by April Daniels, which is the second in the Nemesis series, the follow-up to Dreadnought. In this volume we see that Danielle has grown into her role as a superhero and is caping on the regular. She has a great contract with the city, and she's popular enough that she needs her own publicist. We open with her about to attend a biannual superhero conference in Antarctica. In the 3rd chapter, I particularly love that Dreadnought pointed out that although the media is upholding her as the first trans superhero, that is incredibly inaccurate. She has a friend called Kinetic who is genderqueer. There have been trans heroes in the past that only come out after retirement. Dreadnought just happens to be the most popular because she's pretty, blonde, and white. This is a great nod to all the feminist women of color in history who have worked tirelessly for equality when white women have left them behind. An obvious example being that the right to vote was first given to white women and then later to women of color. The story gets emotional and deals with a lot of ethics, both of being a superhero and of people inserting themselves into private lives where they were not invited. Also, I have no idea if this was intentional or not, but I'm pretty sure that Doc Impossible makes a Dr. Horrible reference.
The status is not quo.
This made me laugh out loud and grin my fangirl grin. I love that the protagonist is also a fangirl and that this sometimes comes in handy. This week in Survivor, big moves happened, something iconic happened at Tribal, and my favorite castaway hasn't been voted off yet. It is hard to talk about a show that is current because I don't want to be the jerk that spoils it for anyone else who is also watching it, but can't watch it live. I watch it the day after it airs on the Global TV website because I don't have cable. If you're watching this video and also watching Survivor, who is your favorite castaway of season 35? Let me know down below. This week I listened to Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. This book has been on my shelf for a while and I eventually decided to pick it up for Tome Topple, but knowing that I wouldn't be able to read 2 physical tomes during the readathon, I got the audiobook from my library. It was 16 hours long, and I mostly listened to it at regular speed, but the last couple of hours I sped up because I wanted to include it in this wrap-up. I was familiar with the premise of this book from the 2008 movie adaptation, but that being said, I didn't remember much besides Brendan Fraser was there and there was magic. And books. I knew it had something to do with books. Meaning I either watched the movie while tired, or it was just popular enough that I assumed I watched it at the time. Anyway, this book is about a girl named Maggie and her father, Mo. A mysterious man comes to their house one night, and Maggie is confused to find that her father knows this man, and this man has a very different name from Mo. Dustfinger, the late-night visitor, says that they are in danger, so they leave to visit a relative, and Maggie demands to know what's going on. From there, we introduce a very special magical power that Mo has tried to keep secret for most of his life, but especially for the last 9 years. I love books about books, and this falls into that category quite well. So obviously I enjoyed this experience. The various characters were well crafted, and the adventure was captivating. Now I'll have to read Inkspell and Inkdeath to find out what other adventures await this bookish family. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you tomorrow for more Bookmas. Bye.